Ever heard of chirology? I have to say I'd never heard of it until about 6 months ago when I ran into somebody named Fred Salzman who helped do a reading of my palms. And I know for some it's like, whoa, wait, palm reading? I'm not trying to read your palms to look at them in terms of like, how long are you gonna live? How many kids are you gonna have? That kind of information. It's more to understand how you relate to the world and how you see the world. So for those of you that don't know, and I didn't know this until I actually became certified in chirology, but the brain has 14 times more connections from the cerebral cortex to our hands than any other part of our body, meaning that basically these are a really good map of how our brains see and relate to the world. And so there's 3 things that don't change about a person once you reach adulthood, and that would be your fingerprints, your finger length, and your skin type. And looking at these 3 things, there's so much information that can be learned about, again, yourself. And then not to say when we compile that with the information we can learn from the lines. The lines on your palm, these actually can change, which is really interesting to me. And you can figure out a lot of things about stress levels, trauma, health-related issues. So much information is available by just looking at somebody's hand. For example, when we think about the fingerprint types, there's one in particular that I'm pretty fascinated with, and that's because I have one, and that's a composite. And basically this print looks like a yin-yang, and it allows you to see the world basically from both sides of a situation, right? You can see 2 sides of everything. However, it makes it very challenging then to make decisions because you can see things from both sides. And depending on which finger and which hand it is on, will indicate a little bit more about the areas in your life that that's going to show up. And I was just so blown away when Fred did this reading for me that I just had to learn more about this. And I can see so much use for this with regard to helping people heal. And that's what drew me so much to it. And again, looking at the world through an Ayurvedic lens, we already are supposed to be looking at people's tongues and your hands to gain some more information about you and the type of person that you are. However, now, coupled with the chirology, I can really see so much more about a person and, again, the way that you relate to the world, and figure out different ways to help you relate to yourself that are going to be more beneficial, freeing you to be more in alignment with your true self. And it's just so fascinating. The number of times that I've done this now, I've practiced on quite a few different people, and I even had one lady start to cry because she was just blown away by the information I was sharing with her. It gave me goosebumps. It made me feel like, wow, I'm really onto something here if I have that strong of a reaction on someone. And I was just so grateful for that encounter. And then I, again, can just help in another way. It's just one more way, one more resource for me to lean on when I'm trying to help others heal their bodies. So if you're not familiar with this, check it out. It's Chirology, Chirology. And again, it's just so incredibly fascinating to me. And if you're interested in a reading, reach out to me. I mean, these are for a fee. This is not a free kind of a thing. It takes a lot of time, and there's so much information actually that I can share with you. And again, knowing that I've got composite fingerprints, the one that allows me to see things from both sides, but makes things more difficult for me to make decisions about, helps me to forgive myself, or like be kinder to myself, if you will, about the fact when I am so torn over major life decisions, like where to live, what kind of a job do I want to have, what kind of car do I want to drive, like just major life choices. And it just always, for me, it's like, oh my gosh, I can see it from so many different angles, and it's almost paralyzing. But now that I'm aware about this, I can say to myself, all right, well, if I get to about 60% certainty with something, I should move forward with it, because knowing what I know now, I can say I'll probably never reach 100% certainty on certain things just because of how my brain is wired. And so it's like, oh, okay, I recognize this. I know what to do in this moment now that I know this about myself. I can make a different decision, one that's going to be better for me, cost me less agonizing energy thinking about something so many times and going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth with it. And that's another thing that I can see, just how much we actually think or overthink about things. There's certain sets of lines that correlate to that. And I laugh because I'm like, oh yeah, I got a lot of those. But it is, again, something now that I'm more aware of. And I realize that I just need some more tools to help myself to let go and stop thinking so much. I know this about myself already. I'm pretty well aware of it. But again, these lines just help to corroborate that, if you will. But at any rate, that's something new and interesting that I've been doing over the last month or two. And it's just been so much fun. And I love to do this for people and share this information with them because, again, I really think it helps to help you understand you that much better, that you can have greater inner peace, which is a huge component in the healing journey. This is one of the greatest things that I've done for myself in my journey to heal from Lyme and tick-borne illness, was the ability to learn to love myself, give myself and make myself a priority, allow myself space to take care of myself and nurture myself and love myself. The more I know about myself and how I relate to myself, the greater relationship and inner peace that I can gain with myself. Feel free to follow me here for more tips and videos on health, trying to heal from Lyme, tick-borne illness, other chronic illnesses, learning about Ayurveda, and just, again, how to have greater health as a whole. It's so important that I feel many times is not talked about enough, is the correlation between body, mind, and spirit, and the importance of addressing all three when we're looking for whole health care. Have a great night.